Like other towns and cities around the UK, Newcastle and Tyneside is no different from a growing and crippling homeless problem, especially in light of this cost of living crisis that's going to drive more people into poverty and, unfortunately, more people onto the streets, living in doorways and having to beg for money. But what's it like for these people who are having to live on the streets and trying to scrape some money to buy food or whatever? In this video, I'm going to talk to some homeless people and find some answers to those questions. It's coming up. Welcome back, it's Eddie here from Tyneside Live. So a video with a little bit of difference today. It's not all sunshine and roses on Tyneside with a brilliant football team, etc. There is a dark side to Tyneside, and that's, like most other places in the country, entrenched poverty with subsequent homelessness and begging on the streets of Newcastle and Tyneside. Now what this video isn't is looking at all of the causes and all of the solutions to homelessness and begging. The subject is complex and multi-layered. What I am trying to do is just provide a snapshot of what the problem is on Tyneside, talk to some homeless people on the street so we can kind of, all of us, raise our understanding and awareness of the problem that's right in front of our eyes. So anyway, on that note, I hope you find this video really interesting. John, if you don't mind us asking, how did you end up living on and sleeping on the streets of Newcastle?
Well, I come to Newcastle about 10 years ago. I've been sleeping in shop doorways, down the quayside, under the bridge, anywhere I can get my head down really. And I've come up here to go into rehab to get off heroin, and that was like 15 years ago. I went to rehab, I got off the heroin. Now the rehab was in Hexham. Now when I've left and done my detox and I've left, they've dropped me off in Newcastle town centre, so I had no way of getting home, I had no money or nothing, so I thought, right, I'll stay in Newcastle, so I've ended up staying here on the streets, and I've stayed here since.
Carol, I noticed straight away you just sat here in a t-shirt. You must be absolutely freezing. I mean, I've got a jacket on and I'm cold.
Yeah, I'm a bit cold.
So you were just telling me you've been only living on the streets for about 2 weeks now. What happened to your life?
Just like I had my own flat, then rent has gone away, so that's about it really.
So you got kicked out by the council?
Yeah.
So where have you been sleeping for the last couple of weeks?
In the park, doorways, sometimes in a hostel, depends. They'll make you money or not.
When you say make some money, how much would you have to make to spend a night in a hostel?
30 quid, yeah.
And how much do you make on an average day?
About 40, 50 quid, depends really, depends what people give you.
Well, I've done my bit in Afghanistan and I moved to Somerset with my missus. Well, I think the PTSD was too much for her, so I've come back up to my hometown.
I was in Michael Kors for 5 years. You know what I mean? They like me staying there because I clean my mess up after me all the time and that. But other people have stayed there after me and left a mess and that. And
when you say a mess, what sort of mess do you mean?
Just when they're eating on a night, you know, like food cartons, boxes, just shot all over the place. And there's a bin right outside the shop. Why can't they use that, you know what I mean?
And if I can ask, what else would you spend the money on?
Just a hostel, the food and the drinks and the tabs.
So where do you sleep every night?
I've got a tent, but I'd rather not say where it is. Because the last one I had with visas for, someone funded it, just trashed it and just ripped everything to bits.
Newcastle City Council do offer, and various charities offer places to sleep for the homeless. Do you ever take that opportunity?
Well, I won't go in no hostels because it's full of druggies and smackheads, crackheads. I'd rather be on my own because I know I can stay away from drugs and that. I don't want no temptations and that.
So what are you sleeping on? You've only got a jacket here. I mean, do you have a sleeping bag or anything?
No. I did have one, but I've lost it.
So you just curl up in a doorway on a park bench?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I can't even begin to imagine what that's like. I mean, there are charities and organisations out there to help. Do you get any help or assistance?
There's like soup kitchens at Bath Lane. Like people are telling us I might go up tonight and see what I get a sleeping bag.
Is that the People's Kitchen?
I might go up there and get a sleeping bag because it is a bit cold.
Yeah, because they do have that sort of stuff. They have clothes and trainers. You can get a hot meal. They have sleeping bags as well.
I might go up there late.
So, can I ask you, I mean, how much money do you collect for yourself every day?
To be honest with you, 25 quid's my limit so I can get ready to travel lodge. If I make out more, yeah, I'll be honest, I am a big green funny sale on any time. Never take tablets, I never drink, never take like cracking and smacking.
I've got a sleeping bag here. I've got other stuff stashed in that, like in bushes and that. I've had a lot of stuff stolen, you know, over the years and that, but I just sleep if I can in a doorway, but if I make enough money, I'll get a room. That's probably like once or twice a week, you know, so I can get a shower and get clean clothes.
Where do you get a room?
You know, West Lane.
Right.
Up West Lane, there's like a hotel there. I just pay £25 a night.
So what does life look like for you now, Carol? What's the future?
Hopefully, like, tomorrow I'm going to go to the council and see if, like, they'll try and put us somewhere.
And what sort of accommodations available that the council might offer?
I don't know, really, I haven't been, like, so I might go tomorrow. Depends, really. Yeah.
Because some people might think, walking past that, people who are on the streets homeless, asking for money, you know, go to Tesco or wherever and get some alcohol or spend it on drugs.
I don't ask for money, me. I don't ask for money. If they're going to give me, they'll give me, you know. I don't like putting on people, sort of thing. See, my mate said I can stay there. I've had a lot of people say to me, oh, come to man, you can stay. I don't like putting on people and I feel as though I'm in the way. But if I stay on my own in a doorway and that, I know I'm no trouble to anyone and I can just do my own thing, you know.
What are people's attitude towards people like yourself on the street?
Horrible, mate. No one wants to know, man. They might as well spit in my face when they walk past.
Have you ever been abused or assaulted or had people spit at you?
Yeah, I've had people spit at me, I've had people kick me in the face,
That's awful. So what's it like? It must be tough on a night time, especially on a weekend?
Oh, it's horrible on a night. You wake up about 4 in the morning and that's when it's coldest, mate. You like that? You know, 4 in the morning, it's horrible, man. And it takes all day, you know, to get warm. You can put like 5-6 layers on and it's still not warm and you're still freezing.
Oh, I bet that must be horrible, especially if it's wet as well.
You sat there like that all day, man, it's horrible, man.
But what about the people, I mean, we're in the big market at the minute. There's lots of people out enjoying themselves. Some people are drunk. Do you ever get any abuse or threats or violence?
All the time, I get people trying to take my money off me and stuff like that. It's horrible, man.
So I should say from the outset, you know, I don't take everything I hear at face value. I'm sure the stories of those people on the street in these desperate circumstances are just given half the crack. Their lives will be traumatic and deeply complex, and probably reasons why they either don't or can't engage with support out there that's being offered. So should you give them money? Well, that's up to you. Personally, I don't. There are organisations out there, non-profit, voluntary and otherwise, who offer support, who offer accommodation. You've also got the People's Kitchen, who do amazing work to feed people who are in desperate circumstances as well. Personally, I think it's probably better you diverted any money that you wanted to offer to various charities that help the homeless people, rather than take the risk of handing over a few pound or whatever to somebody on the street and it just goes on drugs or alcohol. Because for me personally, I think that just exacerbates the problem. You could consider, of course, buying them a hot drink and a bite to eat. That's just my personal view. But let me know your thoughts below on what you think about this whole situation of people begging and sleeping on the streets of Newcastle. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. And yeah, until next time, I'll catch you later.